So the idea is that we're gonna make a magazine, and instead of being very focused, like magazines in general, instead of being focused on fashion or food or travel, we're gonna make it really broad, and so we'll compactly fit in multiple themes. So in one magazine, you'll have travel, food, and fashion.
Okay.
So what do you think about this idea? Is it something you would buy, this kind of magazine?
I would say that I wouldn't buy a broad magazine because I want it to be focused on one specific area. Because if it was a broad magazine, if I turn to a page which I have no interest at all, I'd probably just skip it anyway. I'd rather enjoy every single page of a magazine that I relate to.
So you would prefer a more focused, more linear kind of magazine?
Yeah.
I see. Any input you can give to improve this idea?
Ideas to improve? Well, I'm not entirely sure how to improve a magazine because I've never written in a magazine. I've never conducted a magazine either. But the idea of it being broad is like, what is your target market for it being broad? Maybe there are some people who have broad interest, but they'll always be biased for one thing. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your opinions.
Yeah.
So the idea is we're gonna make a magazine, and it will cover a wide range of topics. Instead of being very focused on only one thing, let's say gaming magazines or like fashion magazines, the plan is we have a magazine that covers multiple genres. So it's essentially a combined lifestyle magazine. So in hopes of reaching a wider audience, right, and hopefully being able having a lot more interesting content possible to us. So we're not limited by what we want to. We're not limited on what content we can cover since we cover so many things. That's the basic idea. What do you think?
I would say that's actually quite a good idea because there's a lot of different, what's that called?
Categories?
Yeah, there's a lot of different categories there, and people, whoever feels like, oh, I can somehow relate to that, will get the magazine. What I can say is, if for example, the magazine will have a theme, for example, this is talking about Japan, like a trip to Japan, something like Oriental things, and if the whole magazine can consist of something Oriental, like Oriental fashion, Oriental something that has something to do with the location or something like that, it might be, you could target.
So you're saying if we have so even though we have so many categories, we should unite them under one theme.
Yeah.
So let's say there'll be lifestyle and there'll be travel. So we'll combine, and let's say food. So we'll combine that, by saying that we're focusing on Oriental, and then we'll cover Oriental food, Oriental travel, something like that.
So if it's now you're talking about fashion. What fashion usually have is, for example, this is the Korean fashion trends for spring, for example, and how does that relate to your travel to your travel side and food side? Because when I want to buy a fashion magazine, I want to see fashions, and if usually I buy one book filled with multiple fashion, now it's only one and the rest is travel, I honestly would not want to buy your magazine unless say for example I'm interested in Japan, and inside this particular edition, this is a Japanese edition this month, there is travel to Japan, food in Japan, clothes, like fashion trends of Japan, something like that. So if I buy one thing, it somehow it covers everything. Or else I would honestly prefer, if it's the same amount of money and everything, I would prefer buying a normal fashion magazine instead, because I'm only interested in the fashion.
So like a more focused magazine.
Yeah.
So okay, I see.
So if now you have a theme, say I'm looking for a travel magazine, and inside's also a little bit of fashion here, food on this side, gaming, top games in Japan, or like Japanese inspired games, something like that, then for some people, I would say it's quite interesting to get those, because I can say, oh, we want to go to Japan next week. Let's just get this one magazine, and it will have all these things, fashion trends, and everything that is in Japan. But again, it might depend on your focus of the magazine. Is it more on the gaming part? Is it more on the travel part? Because that's where, if the focus is in the travel, then the rest are secondary to back up and promote the travel. If your focus is on the fashion, then something like you can get them in these shops
I see.
in Indonesia or in Japan itself, or even the online shops.
Okay, thanks for your input.
No worries. Thank you.